Just a few days ago, I brought you guys this, I think, rather interesting blog post on news.samsung.com. This was translated from Korean, so things might be a little bit inaccurate here. But basically, in this blog post, Samsung seems to recognize that there is a problem with their current approach and that they need to make some changes. They say, the performance that fell short of market expectations has raised concerns about the fundamental technological competitiveness and the future of the company. They even describe it as a crisis. Samsung has a history of challenge, innovation, and overcoming that has always turned crisis into opportunities. They basically go on to promise that they're going to be more competitive. Now, they don't specifically call out folding phones, but I think given the fact that their market share is shrinking with regard to those phones, of course, the fact that the Z Fold 4 sold better than the Z Fold 5 and the Z Fold 5 seems like it was selling better than the Z Fold 6, they are slipping in that department. I think a lot of us rightly made that connection. I think it does reach more broadly than just folding phones, but I think that it definitely includes folding phones. And I told you guys that that was something that gave me a little bit of hope for the future when it comes to the next Z Fold devices. Of course, we also now have the fully unveiled Samsung Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition, a device that will likely only be released in South Korea and in China, but it is sort of a step into that more competitive territory when you're comparing the Z Fold to some of the Chinese foldables, or in some ways even to foldables like the OnePlus Open and the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. It is as thin, relatively speaking, as a Pixel 9 Pro Fold. As you can see here, it has an improved primary camera sensor, so larger screens as well, an 8-inch internal screen. It does have a slightly wider cover display. So all of these things, I think, gave us a little bit of hope, but there's one problem with the special edition. It is very, very expensive. If it was in US dollars, it's over $2,000, close to $3,000 if I'm remembering correctly. You may also remember that I made a video some time ago talking about how I thought that this ultra premium foldable wasn't really the right direction for them to be going in. Now, I think it's important to remember with this device specifically where it's going to be released and what the proclivities, what the interests of these customers are, and how they differ from what we see in other markets. It seems, based on the other Chinese foldables, the other foldables being sold in those regions, that people really want really thin devices and they want really big screens. So that is what Samsung is delivering to those markets, even at the expense of the S Pen functionality. You remove that S Pen digitizer, you can make the thing a little bit thinner. So we kind of have to put this aside and say this is for a specific region because that's what those specific customers seem to be interested in. So while I don't think it's necessarily prudent to focus on this special edition as an indicator to what Samsung plans to do in the future, like I don't think that the Z Fold 7 is going to be $2,200 or anything quite like that, I do want to look at this article here from, I don't know how to pronounce this, SISA Journal, CISA Journal-e.com. This is a South Korean publication because they have some really interesting stuff here. On the 22nd, a smartphone industry insider said, quote, the growth of foldable phones is much lower than Samsung Electronics or Samsung Display expected. In order to expand the market, there are two ways to do so. Expand the dedicated applications optimized for the tablet form factor or lower the price. They go on to say earlier it was predicted that Samsung would release a 6th generation foldable along with a budget foldable phone with some components removed and a lower price. In fact, Samsung Electronics unveiled a new product, the Special Edition, which has reduced the thickness and removed the digitizer part for the S Pen, but rather decided to increase some specifications, such as the camera and memory, and set the price higher. They plan to sell this thinner model without a digitizer in China, a market where other manufacturers like Huawei, Xiaomi, Oppo, and Honor are gaining a strong position by emphasizing cost effectiveness, while they seem to be going in the other direction. Samsung Electronics is also continuously raising the prices of its new foldable phone products. The Z Fold 6 had its price raised as well. A Samsung Electronics official explained the product saying, quote, "Rather than thinking of it as a premium product, it's a product released to expand your options. You can choose according to your taste." He added, "As of now, we have no plans to release a separate product with a lower price." And when I tell you that I think they're taking the wrong approach, that underlines it very, very effectively. China's Huawei has been gaining prominence in the global market since releasing its new foldable, and it has surpassed Samsung Electronics' market share in the first half of this year. According to market research firm Counterpoint Research, Huawei ranked first in the global foldable phone market with a 35% market share in the first quarter of this year, while Samsung Electronics came in second with 23%. And that is a trend that is going to continue. The industry insider continued, "I don't see any major advantages to this Fold Special Edition product other than the fact it is thinner and has upgraded cameras and memory compared to the existing ones. Fold products are not selling well, and raising the price at a time when sales are stagnant leaves no clue as to how Samsung Electronics plan to break through this difficult market going forward. They are being undercut by other brands who are delivering hardware that is just as good, if not better, at a lower price." And this, look, there's a lot you have to consider with this topic. It's genuinely hard for me to believe that Samsung actually thinks this special edition phone at a higher price than its competitors in these other markets, in particular China, that's going to make a big difference for them. So you have to ask yourself, why bother releasing it in the first place? What do they benefit from doing this? What is their goal with this product? What is their goal now more broadly with folding phones? It seemed like at one point they really felt like folding phones would grow and grow and grow, and they would be able to own a huge chunk of that market share, and that they would therefore have this brand new sector that they could be very profitable in. It seems like now that's not really the same strategy that they are carrying forward, because if you really want to, grow that market, grow that sector, releasing, yes, of course, that first, series of products that are aspirational, they are bleeding edge, they are super premium. But then you have to do what Samsung has always done, and that is create lower end versions of these phones. That's how you really capture and grow that sector. And again, while I don't think that this special edition should be taken as this super definitive thing that says this is what Samsung's going to do going forward in terms of their pricing, it definitely isn't the cheaper device that I think all of us feel like is the obvious right move. The Z Fold 6 went up by $100 without an obvious reason why that would be the case. There are dynamics at play here. There are strategies at play here that I just don't think is fully understood by those of us that are outside of the company. There has to be a reason why they raised the price, and there has to be a reason why they aren't pursuing a cheaper variant. The cheaper variant that, again, most of us feel like is the obvious next move for Samsung. So guys, I'm going to leave the speculating as to what is happening to you guys in the comments down below. I know that if it's me, if I have a very expensive product that most people tell you the biggest reason they don't buy it is because it's so expensive and it is selling worse and worse and worse, I would be considering ways to get that price down. And if I'm not able to do that, what exactly is that holdup? What is preventing that from happening? That's where we're just going to have to speculate for now. Maybe someone in those comments down below has some information. That would be interesting. Otherwise, hit those comments and tell me what you think is going on. I'll see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.